Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
So what we have here is the 3 editions of innovation. I've got the Deluxe Edition, I've got the First Edition, and I have the Yellow Edition here. We're going to take a look at all 3 of these and the different components that are in there, and probably in a semi-organized way. So first thing you see the box. This is the Deluxe. It's going to have everything for it. The box is going to be very thick and much bigger. So this is not just the base game. It's going to have a lot more stuff in it. This is the First Edition. You see kind of a plain box. Kind of tells you what kind of artwork you're going to get inside. And you can see here on the back. Then you have the Yellow Edition, which is very pretty. Has a magnet box on the side. And you can see there's going to be artwork on each side. Very organized about what you have. A very nice production indeed. So when you open this up, you're going to see 3 different rule books. You're going to get a giant rule book here with the Deluxe. Very big. Plenty of pictures. Shows you places for the expansions that will be in here. And kind of how everything works as you go through. Lots of detail. But there's a lot of stuff in here because you're going to be playing with a lot more of the expansions, etc. And it goes through each of the expansions inside here. This rule book with the original version is going to be just a small fold out. Lots of words and a whole lot of pictures in here. A little bit of what's going on, but very, 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 very wordy. With the yellow version, you're going to have components out here, and you're going to see just a lot more color. You got a big picture of setup here, going through the actions. You got a little chart over here with the different dogmas that you're going to have, and then definitions of the words, an example of a playthrough. So this is probably the most, you're going to have a lot more stuff in here, so I don't want to get too stuck on the deluxe version. Very good rule book and a little bit more basic. Next, let's talk about the inserts a little bit. This one is just a big cardboard thing. I'll probably end up throwing this out at some point. In this one, you're going to get just another little cheap cardboard thing in here. It's just a placeholder for cards, and that's it. With this one, you're going to have some artwork when you open up. You got the magnetic box like I showed you. These kind of fit in grooves here. Then you have places for your cards. You can see they kind of bleed out a little bit. If you're going to sleeve them, they're definitely not going to fit in here. But this insert's probably just a tad bit better. Now, as for the player aids, you can see here that the Deluxe Edition of this is fairly similar. You're going to have just stuff printed on paper. It kind of tells you what you're going to have. The First Edition is a little bit bigger, so it'll be a little bit smaller with stuff kind of thrown in there, etc. Neither one would I say is nice or has great artwork on it. Then you're going to get the yellow version, which is nice cardboard, very good components, tells you everything you need to know. I mean, they both kind of do the same thing. This one's just a lot nicer. You can see places to put your cards around here. Well, this one says, achievements and score. You're going to have achievements and score. You're going to have your influence and dominations on this one. So a little bit different terminology. I'm not going to go through all the cards and kind of show you what you're going to get. The Deluxe Edition and the First Edition are going to be a lot more similar with icons. You can kind of see a little bit more here that you'll get, but not the most beautiful of cards. Actually, they're kind of thin, to be honest. This is pretty much called Deluxe Edition because it has everything versus the quality of things. You can see kind of the backs of what you're going to get, numbers, etc. So not fantastic. With the First Edition, kind of the same thing. You can see the pictures here, very generic, very borderline amateurish. What you need is here, but not a whole lot else. You're not going to have pretty artwork or anything. You can just see here that it is fairly basic. Now with the yellow version, they're going to introduce something that's a little bit unique called artwork. And you're going to get artwork in what you're going to be doing. You can see the backs of them have nice little cities that actually represent the different time periods that you're in, which are nice. And you're going to have prettier art. I think the cards feel better than either of these two either. They have like a slick feel to them. But you can see the icons are very clear. You're going to have some like pretty artwork over here that's going on and what you need right here. As for the words and stuff, I feel like those are about the same. It's not a huge difference. It's just a matter if you want to look at artwork. That's beautiful when you're looking at the game. If so, then the yellow version is definitely for you. So these are 3 versions of innovation that I have. I think there are only 3 that's been produced. So there's another one that might be a different country, but these are the 3 that I have. This one right here is the most basic. If you just want the cheapest version, you just want the cards, you don't need the artwork, this is obviously where you will go. All the expansions are released for it, not a big problem. This right here adds in artwork, and it adds in a beautifulness, and a little bit better components. The cards feel better. The player aids feel better. Everything is, this is the best package that you're going to get here, and there are plenty of expansions that have been released for this. This is probably the most beautiful version that you're going to get. The Deluxe Edition, which is going to be the one I'm keeping just because it has all the expansions in one box. I already have it. Why not just keep them and have all the variation that you want? But this right here is really your winner. This is the version most people are going to want. If you just want the core game, this is where you would go. If you want maybe 1 or 2 expansions, this is the way you want to go. Storing it's going to be a problem if you have all that. You can take the insert out and store a lot more in here. But this Deluxe Edition is going to house everything. So people who want everything, you're a big fan of innovation, this is where you will go. This will be your bargain shoppers. This will be for people who just want to have, you know, with the cheapest possible one. It's going to be cost a little bit cheaper than this version. Maybe you just like the original, cleaner design. You don't need the artwork. And you want the expansions. You don't need them all to be housed together because you're not going to be able to house a whole lot of expansions in here. This is pretty tight. And you just want something very, very basic. This will be it for you. So decide who you are. Do you want everything in one box? Do you want beautiful artwork and a nice production? Or do you want something on a budget? Or maybe you like the cleaner look of this without the artwork. I can't imagine who you are. And you want to buy the expansions and have additional boxes, and this would be the way to go. These are very similar. Very, very similar. If you want everything in one box, this is where to go. If you want to piecemeal it or just have some of the stuff, then this is where you'll want to go. Otherwise, artwork wins and components.